I accepted Christ in middle school at a Night of Faith event at the local community college. But until I had met Rusty in college, and really a couple years into our marriage, I had not yet asked God to have a close relationship with Him.
I grew up in a very strict Christian home, attending a Baptist church every Sunday and Wednesday night. I was saved at an early age, but I was still looking for answers with what that really meant for me through my teenage years, and by the time I hit college, I was ready to experience life. I met Jody early on in college of her freshman year, and I knew from one of the first moments that we spoke, I wanted to marry her.
The first couple of years of our marriage were tough, and at times we didn't know if it would last. We weren't on the same page spiritually, and I often asked why, what we were doing wrong. I would say the turning point was when we found out in the spring of 2009 that we were having our first child.
Fast forward to the fall of 2011, and we were packing our bags and moving from a brand new custom-built home to a 950 square foot apartment. We kept wondering if there would be something more for us. Not only had we moved over 2,000 miles from our family, but we had just had our second child, Evan, and no sooner than we set foot in California would we find out that I had to repay my old employer a $9,000 recruiting fee. My new job was holding back commissions and bonuses, which was most of my pay for 1 year. And we had some unexpected medical expenses coupled with the overall higher cost of living.
We spent the first year and a half of our 2 years living in California struggling to make the rent. Early summer 2013, we found out that we were having Cal. So think about already maxing out the space in a 2-bedroom apartment and then getting ready for the arrival of another child. We were stressed and often asking God why we moved to California and what we were doing wrong.
This was especially hard on me as I was growing a successful career, but it felt like I was failing my family. We prayed daily looking for an answer that would show us the path where all of this was leading. We were offered the opportunity to move to Atlanta as my company landed a project with the Falcons' new stadium in the fall of 2013. We felt that we finally found the answer to the questions we had been asking. We started coming to Thrive Chapel the very first Sunday, and one of the special parts now, serving as a volunteer where I lead the usher team and welcome others into service so that they can find faith as I have found it. Jody serves in Thrive Kids, where she leads children into their walk with God and a relationship with Him. Not only that, but the next step of building relationships have allowed us to make great friendships through small groups, which I lead in a men's Bible study where we meet before work and talk out things we face as men, husbands, and fathers. I rededicated my life to Christ in 2015 at one of the first Thrive baptism events because I wanted to show my family that I had fully committed to following Christ and leading them.
We have always made it a point to invite neighbors and friends to Thrive, but the one that sticks out is Rebecca. I have invited her numerous times and have told her how great Thrive's Kids is to our children and encouraged her and her family to come and check it out. After a year and a half of inviting, Rebecca came.
Good. And I am the one that Rusty and Jody Wiley invited to church. I grew up in a home where, we never went to church. My mom even came from the family where my grandmother had, a lot of faith, and, she talked about God and Jesus and everything, but, they never took their kids to church, and it was just something that was carried on. I guess you could say my journey into church started about a year and a half ago when my daughter started preschool with Jody's daughter, Evan. And at, just the casual kid's birthday party, as me and Jody are kind of chatting up, the topic of church came up, and she, mentioned that, her family attended Thrive Chapel. It kind of took that one last, one-on-one invitation from her for it to actually kind of click that, you know, maybe this is a place that I want to try to visit and kind of, you know, get a feel for. As soon as I walked through the doors and just kind of got an overall kind of calm from everybody as I walked in of, you know, they're welcoming me no matter, you know, no matter my story, no matter, you know, what I look like, no matter, you know, how I'm dressed or, you know, anything. They're just welcoming and they're just glad to see me. And that was just really, really refreshing and just really gave me a calm, you know, as soon as I walked through the door. Just let go, just surrender it all to God and know that He's, you know, He's got your back, and, you know, just stay strong and keep coming and knowing that, you know, every step that you take towards God, you know, the rewards are so much more. And this is the seat where I dedicated my life to Jesus and got my questions answered.